Howdy, y'all. Okay, so one of the things that has been suggested to me is to make operator guides for Rainbow Six. There's just one problem with that. And the problem is that I'm kinda bad. I have good game sense from the total of 50 days worth of Siege that I've played on different platforms, but my aim is starchier than a plantain, and I am extremely jumpy. This leads me to play more operators that use passive utility, meaning I still help the team if I whiff and die. Enter Kapkan, the only operator who I think I'm good enough with to make a damn good how-to guide. He also happens to be my favorite operator in all of Rainbow Six, and when I play Airsoft, I look like his little brother who didn't eat much growing up due to Chernobyl-induced allergies. Thanks, Stalin. Now back to breaking ankles. So one of the reasons that I wanted to make this guide is because I think Kapkan is severely underutilized, because if he's played wrong, he's next to useless. And he is played wrong more often than not. Today I'm going to break down why Kapkan is so powerful and how to wreck as the Trap King in 4 quick parts. His kit, trap placement in doorways, trap placement on the map, and what to do after the prep phase. First off, let's talk about his kit. Cap has an extremely well-rounded kit. To start, he has access to arguably the best pistol in the game that hits like Optimus Prime possessed by the spirit of Mike Tyson. And yes, its mag is only 8 rounds, but if you switch to your pistol and have time to get 8 rounds deep, you're probably dead anyway. He also gets the choice between a nitro cell and impact frags. Both of these gadgets can be very handy in a pinch, and while impact frags give you more options for rotation holes and destroying attacker gadgets, the spicy Nokia gives you some serious killing potential and the ability to set yet another trap for the offense. For primaries, he has the SASG Tactical Pillow Launcher, but the range on that thing is way too low for it to be considered for good use, especially when you compare it to his SMG, which is the love child of an AK-74 and an MP5. The Vityaz 9mm is a smoking hot automatic option. It has a solid rate of fire and easy to control recoil, and it hits pretty hard. At closer ranges, you can smoke somebody with 3 body shots, and at long range, it's still capable of dropping them even if you don't hit their head. The 30-round mag and full attachment options give this gun 0 glaring downsides. In fact, I would argue that this gun is in the top tier of SMGs in the whole game. The last thing to talk about is his gadget, the EDD Mark II. This device is basically a drill bit anchor with a motion sensor and a shape charge up top. The blast goes into a silicone gel pad full of screws for nasty shrapnel damage on anything that is in the doorway when the wire is triggered. The explosion does 60 damage at base, so 3 speeds will take the full 60, while 2 speeds will take 51, and the heavy boys will take 45. Needless to say,
now that's a lot of damage!
To take in an instant from seemingly nowhere. Shield characters get a damage reduction if their shield is facing the trap though. Kapkan gets 5 of these, and while they only take a second or 2 to place, it can be challenging to get all 5 traps drilled in during the prep phase, especially if you end up reinforcing walls, which you should do, by the way. Now, trap placement in the doorway is every bit as important as what doorway you put it in. Always put it down low at ankle height, unless it's behind a shield. There's no reason to bring it up further into the sight line of the attacker. Obviously, you want to place the trap on the side of the door away from the attacker to keep it hidden. All of these things are common knowledge though. What requires a little more big brain is deciding to place the trap on the left or right of the door frame. And there's no one solution to this. The way that we place the trap should accomplish at least one of 3 things. Make the attacker expose themselves to destroy the trap, prevent attackers from seeing the trap until it's too late, and keep the trap out of attackers' likely sightline. I'll give you an example of each that always serves me well, and then I'll show you a spot that has 2 or more objectives covered. A good example of a trap that requires exposure is in the armory side of Clubhouse. Placing it on the right side of the door, this trap helps counter blue tunnel rushes and late game rotations. But one thing that it requires the offense to do is to peek around the corner and expose themselves to any defender holding an angle from dirt tunnel or from the back of sight. A trap that does a good job at staying hidden until it's too late is in the drug lab bathroom on Theme Park while a drug lab objective is being played. Tucking the trap into this corner prevents any attacker from seeing it unless they already knew it was there and are checking that little corner. The window can't see it, the person coming from stairs can't see it, and the person coming from arcade will likely be peeking left into the drug storage room looking for defenders. A placement that keeps the trap out of an attacker's likely sightline is in the 3rd floor of Cigar Lounge on Cafe, while one of the 2nd floor objectives below is being played. This area usually gets roam cleared by attackers early in a match, and when they enter the room they are either coming around the corner looking to the right at head level to see somebody behind the little bar, or they are watching the far doorway and couch for any roamer that's up there waiting for them. Either way, they're gonna get kneecapped, and your team down below is alerted to activity upstairs. A fantastic shin splitter is on Theme Park's daycare objective. By placing this trap on the right side of the doorway, we accomplish all 3 objectives. The trap is hidden by the box to the left of the doorway outside, and it's tucked around the corner to prevent any attacker coming from offices from seeing it as well. If an attacker wants to destroy this trap, it requires them to expose themselves to the sweaty weeb in the back of the room waiting to take their dome off. All 3 objectives are covered with this trap, and I use it every time that I get a daycare objective. The next thing to discuss is trap placement on the map, and this is where experience and trial and error come in. You can place your traps however you want. I'll use the office objective on Theme Park as an example. If I'm playing a team that waits until the last second to collapse on the objective, I'll place my traps pretty close to the objective and even pair traps together to hopefully insta-kill an unlucky soul who was sprinting to the objective. If I'm playing a team that moves together and I want to know where they're entering from, then I'll place my traps far and wide to get information on which angle the enemy might push us from. And sometimes I will place my traps to make sure a certain path to the objective is hell to get through, and it prevents flankers from sneaking to the objective amid chaos. The last thing to talk about is what to do after the prep phase, and this is, I believe, one of Kapkan's greatest strengths. After you put down your traps and reinforcements, you can do whatever you want. He is a well-rounded gun at all ranges, so if your team needs an anchor, he can hold angles. He's a 2-speed and has impact frags, so he can function pretty well as a shallow and even a deep roamer. The sky is the limit with him after the prep phase, and even if you get unluckily wall-banged 30 seconds into the round, your team will still benefit because of the info gathered and the damage done by your traps. Kapkan gets a bad reputation as a low elo only operator, because no matter what, his traps rely on some degree of negligence by the attacker in order for his gadget to go off. The way to use this operator effectively is to place the traps in places that encourage the attacker to be negligent, either by making them scared of being shot from another angle, or by placing a trap out of their visual path and inviting them to kick the tripwire. By using these tips, I know you can make huge plays and win rounds with Kapkan. I know this because if I can beat people with him, you most definitely can. Thank you for coming to my Trap King TED Talk. I hope I was able to shed some light on Rainbow Six's Tripwire Trickster. If you enjoyed the video, a like is always appreciated, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Ubisoft Forward is coming up next week, and I can't wait to see if a new trailer for Rainbow Six Quarantine is released. Y'all be safe and healthy, and I'll see you after the Ubisoft Forward event.